Hey guys, my name is Dewey Jones. I'm a Colorado off-roader, and what we do here is we film trail guides.
Gotta make this look real.
Yeah. Now this is part 3 of Red Cone. Now if you saw part 1 and part 2, they're definitely not Sean's favorite videos, but he told me come hell or high water, he's doing it today, and we are gonna do a full trail guide today, but we got some exciting vehicles.
Pondering how to get this thing up.
You guys know Sean's Cherokee. But we also got Dave and Sophia in an FJ Cruiser that is just awesome. So I'm really excited to wheel with you guys, but I talk way too much on these. So let's get out there and film this trail. As we make our way to what I'm gonna call the first taste of Red Cone, here's some details about the trail. Now this trail is only open for a short period of time since we are required to crest Red Cone Peak. It'll take about 3 hours to complete unless we have issues like we did a year prior. We are now approaching some unassuming rocks, but don't get fooled, these are known tire slicers. Alright, that is a relief. Now this is a good time to show you how to get here. This Colorado trail is about 1.5 hours away from Denver, and it is easily accessible by driving towards Bailey. Now on the screen is some helpful information on getting you to the trail. Here is an excellent map from FunTrack showing the various difficulties along the trail. Now, as you can see, most of the trail is rated as difficult, and we're going to show exactly how difficult it is in this video. Yeah, it was here somewhere. You didn't have 2 options, now you got 2 options.
Yeah, they like made the bypassy part for it. That had to have been what happened.
This is a shot from our 2020 attempt at the trail, but as you're gonna see, new rocks have been revealed off to the side. I'll be like, Sean's gonna demonstrate the bypass.
I appreciate that one.
Yeah. After that is only a 4-minute drive to the first mandatory rock obstacle. This obstacle comes in at less than half a mile from the trailhead. Now, if this is too challenging for you, I'd suggest turning around as there are a lot more challenges and obstacles coming after this. I'm amazed he did not have any door incidents on Wheeler Lake. That was some impressive wheeling. Rock rail, just rock rail. The craziest thing about this is you went up this last time and down it.
What would have been, so I didn't have a broken tie rod at the time, but I did have a tire that was, I had an KO2 that was losing air, and a regular all-terrain that I came down this with, because I didn't have a choice. Driver. You're gonna step step down. You got that much room.
Okay, so Sean did not slice his second tire on that rock obstacle. Instead, he sliced it on this seemingly insignificant rock. Yeah, this one. Now, he would slowly lose air on his way to the next waypoint. This trail is 6 miles long, but the first half mile sure packs a punch. However, I don't think any of this is the toughest obstacle, and it's definitely not the most dangerous part of Red Cone. So let's keep moving with a quick look of Red Cone from the air, and then we're going to get right back on the trail and I'm going to show you what it's all about. I like to think of Red Cone as a series of 3 stages, and we are now on to stage 2, and that's the map I have on the screen. This stage has a creek crossing, a rock garden, a rock obstacle with trees in the way, a steeper rocky climb, challenging switchbacks, and it will end when we break tree line. So let's get to it because this one packs a punch.
Camera is rolling.
It was at this point in 2020 that we should have just said, Sean, you're camping here. But you guys already know that story if you've seen our previous Red Cone videos. So basically, everything from here on out is completely new for Sean and his Trailhawk. Now, I was definitely curious how this was all going to work out for him.
Yeah, I do think it would be loud, but I probably would make it up this, but I don't have anything to prove. I just want to go and make it to the end of the trail.
Now at the beginning of this video, you may have noticed Sean was aggressive as he usually is, but I pushed him to take it a bit easy. Sorry guys, there's just a lot of this trail coming up, and those of you that are familiar with the channel know how capable Sean is with that Trailhawk. I mean, he has conquered trails like Wheeler Lake, but Sean's biggest challenge wheeling isn't obstacles, it's heights. Heights like he encountered on Black Bear Pass. Now Red Cone is probably even sketchier than Black Bear when it comes to that, so I wanted him to have a somewhat of a relaxing time until we got to the summit.
What'd you think of that?
Now that tree and rocks obstacle was tougher than it looked, but after you get through it, you have a relatively relaxing yet beautiful 10-minute drive to the rocky climb and switchbacks. Now you will briefly pop out of the trees, which is your clue you've arrived to the rocky climb. Now it may not look like much on video, but remember, video blunts steepness, and this area is definitely a bit loose.
That rock got me.
Nice spot. Too bad. It's good. It's the spotter, not me, that's for sure. But we're good, we'll continue.
See, I was right about that rocky climb being loose. Anyway, after you get through it, you have another brief break from the obstacles, but this time you're out of the trees, so you get glimpses of the views that you're going to encounter on the last part of this trail. Once you pop back into the trees, it's time to focus back up, as this area is a bit dug out, and as a result, some vehicles may end up leaning into nearby trees if they're not careful.
Yeah, you'll be good. You'll make that turn. Nice and easy. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Well, Sean made it look easy. So that's the way to do it. You gotta go wide and then in.
I had to have been way closer to that tree.
Now that wasn't too challenging for us, but up next is the switchbacks. Normally, uphill switchbacks aren't really a big deal, but as you're gonna see, red cone switchbacks will test your articulation more than the ones I'm showing on the screen. However, red cone's first switchback is definitely easier than the second one.
The next one is the hard one, but I'm still gonna film you guys.
I can imagine that looks fly.
Alright, we are now on our way to the toughest switchback, so you definitely want to be in 4-wheel drive low for that. If your vehicle doesn't have the best articulation, you likely want to have lockers on if you have them. However, you may be able to get up it without being locked, but it's going to take a lot more effort and be pretty harsh on the trail if you do so. So I make these guides for all kinds of off-roaders, including stock non-Rubicon Jeep owners, as I was one of those for a long time. Now this means I wheel my Rubicon without using lockers, and I usually keep my sway bar connected. You know, I want a 3-wheel too. However, I have started disconnecting my sway bar sometimes, as that's a simple mod you can do even with a stock Jeep. Now I do think I may have been disconnected on that last obstacle, but I didn't use lockers. Sean did tell me though that him and David both locked their rears, and I think we all made it look pretty simple, but that's information you should know.
Been that way for a while. It's actually plastic in here that's just come out a little bit.
Oh.
So I just need to climb under and cut it. Trim it down a little bit.
Sean had some minor rubbing from an inner plastic piece, but it was no big deal, and we are now nearly done with the second part of Red Cone. As you have just seen, the first 3 miles of Red Cone are not easy, but the views coming up are ridiculously awesome and definitely worth the fight to break tree line. We have just completed the first 3 miles of trail, but now we start what I consider the third and final stage of Red Cone. This stage is the longest, with a 2.3 mile climb to the summit, followed by a dangerous descent of about 3/4 of a mile. So this is the longest Red Cone stage, and it's definitely the most beautiful section, but don't sleep on it, cause that descent is a one-way for a reason. This is Little Rascal Hill, originally described by the excellent guidebooks from Fun Treks. Now this hill is deceptive. It's steep and there's loose rocks that you're going to be fighting against. However, after you get up it, you're rewarded with even better views than that which came before it. Once you turn the corner, you have now completed Little Rascal Hill, and this next section is filled with beautiful views in every direction. It's also important to note that this high alpine tundra does not handle off-trail travel, as can be seen by these aerial shots. So if you are new to Colorado trails, just know that they are a bit more delicate in nature. Alright, let's just take in these beautiful views.
Now we're counting up, we're good.
Normally I break the trail down at the end, but this one ends with a bang, so let's get into that now as we climb to the summit. On the screen is our trail breakdown, and we definitely agree with Fun Treks and Trails Off-Road in that this trail should be rated as difficult. Now I think it's pretty clear that this trail is beautiful even when compared to other Colorado trails, but I think the best views are coming up on the dangerous descent. Now this trail does have a little bit of everything, so it's definitely a lot of fun, but I'm gonna admit it was not as much fun for us in 2020. Anyway, we're gonna complete this breakdown at the end, as Sean will give you his thoughts as well as a rockiness rating. That was our trail breakdown, but now on the screen is our trail review, starting with our overall rating. Based on our experiences on Red Cone, we are calling this a Colorado Mall Crawler Badge of Honor trail, but since we're just YouTubers, that doesn't mean anything. So a better way of saying it is that this is a trail with challenges and views, making it a must-do. Now take note of the additional info on the screen, mostly that this trail can get very crowded, so we suggest running it on a weekday. I've also included my suggestions for different vehicles that I have some experience with, but you know your skill and vehicle better than me, so hopefully this video is helpful. Speaking of this trail guide, let's get back into it as we work to reach the summit. It's now time to put the drone away and focus on this final climb to the summit. We are currently above 12,500 feet and will ultimately reach an elevation of 12,800 feet. This is definitely steeper than it looks, but we will hear more on that from Sean at the summit.
I'm sitting straight up and I'm like, I can't see anything. I do not want to stop here.
Oh, when I stopped?
No, when he stopped.
Oh, it's because I stopped. Yeah.
I know, well you guys are a bunch of stoppers.
Video just doesn't do this climb or this descent any justice, but I believe on the second part of this one-way descent, I will have some inclinometer video footage for you.
Goddamn, tow descent control by itself is worth the purchasing of this Jeep.
Hold back, I'm gonna film you.
Oh yeah, great idea. Tell me to stop on a hill like this. You're crazy.
Now that ledge may not look like much, and it really isn't that bad, but you gotta remember the angle of descent is much steeper than it appears.
How was that, Sean? Good, because we have another one.
After that first descent, you have a little break to check out the views. From here you can see the off-road trails of Handcart Gulch, Webster Pass, and the very awesome Radical Hill. You can also see the peaks of Handcart, Landslide, and Whale Peak from this part of the trail.
This is so much wider here than it looks like it is. Yeah, because if it was just a cliff on both sides and just this little trail, that'd be terrifying.
Some of you may remember when this was a two-way, but it is now just a one-way descent. This summer, Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery has had to rescue someone going the wrong way that broke down. Also, a Colorado photographer took a whole bunch of photos of him going the wrong way with the one-way sign in the frame. So the point here is just don't be those guys. Now we are on the second and last descent. Now this one is shorter than the first one, but it's slightly steeper. You also don't have a little ledge to deal with on this one. Alright, let's hear from Sean and wrap this trail guide up.
You said you were going to do this trail hell or high water, right?
Well, apparently that appears, yes. So let's see how this goes. Let's see how rocky this is. Not as bad as the trail has actually been. that I don't have to ever do it again. And just by looking up there, it's absolutely terrifying. Yeah, I'm glad I did it.